Okay, so I believe a box jumps up and you got to click either got it or okay. Um, and Jim Duff, are you new today? Is today your first time?
Uh, I attended one about 2 years ago.
Welcome back. Uh, cool. I'm Otto, and this is Tai Chi, sort of principles for gait and balance. Um, and so the class will be all about that. And ideally,
Okay.
set your space up like I have it here if you can. So ideally, you've got two chairs with a pretty high back. You set them decently wide apart so there's some space, and then a third chair here that you sit in, and then we'll go from here.
Okay.
And as you guys set up, I'll be right back. I'll be just away for 2 seconds.
Hey,
He's doing pretty good, period. He's had a couple perky days since I was over there, period. It ebbs and flows, period. Nothing new, period.
Let's do it. All right, we begin sitting at the front edge. So scoot to this front edge of your chair. We always begin with this practice. In certain classes, we take more time. We take more time with it. Other times we take less. Today we'll just do sort of a brief warm up so we can get to our standing work quicker. So the value of being in the chair, scooting to the front edge. It's very difficult to fall from a chair, so it allows us to practice being relaxed in our sitting position. But we're also cultivating the same, what they call zhongjang, or central upright, this central pillar. We're cultivating that exact same pillar that goes with us when we stand up. So zhongjang, the first principle, find that central upright. Second principle, very important, very subtle, chunwan, or soften, relax, release as your means of finding stability. Right? So consider that idea that normally what we do to find stability is we tighten up, we hold. And Taoist practice says don't do that at all. Relax every single place within you that you have any activity, any effort, any force. And there is a corresponding, when you relax something in the body, there's a corresponding plumping or expansion or dilation that occurs. So as we relax, and when you get better and better at it, the experience of it has a sort of buoyancy to it. So you release where you can release, and there's some aspect that goes down with that relaxation. So there's something we were holding in our system with this tension that when we relax, it goes down naturally. We don't have to push it down or force it down. All we got to do is stop holding it. By stopping the holding quality, there is a downward direction of settling, you could say. And it's that downward settled quality that is where we get our stability. So it's by letting everything that has any heaviness to it go down that we then feel, boom, we feel settled, we feel present, we feel where we are, right? But then the third principle, so Zhongjung, central upright, Chunwan meaning relax and release as your means of finding stability. The third is almost like equals, those two first things equal Qing Ling, which means light, nimble, agile, and movable. So the more tension we have in the body, the less mobility, the less agility and supple, pliable quality we have. So then as we drop all that extra out, what we then find is a different feeling in the body. And at first that feeling feels less stable. So it feels less stable at first to let go of all that tension. So that's where most people just get stuck. We just get caught in that state of holding because that's where I feel safe. So in our chair, we get a chance to actually practice letting go and noting you don't fall out of your chair. In fact, you ground down through the chair, down through your feet, down through the floor. And there's also a corresponding uprightness, a sort of floating and good posture that comes from that. Now, to improve this, we do our breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's just do that for a little bit. A few more. Just notice if you've lost track of your breathing. Where did your mind go? Right? Notice how the mind wanders off. So the act of having your mind with the breath as it's happening, as your breath is happening, is just the most fundamental and beneficial meditation practice. So keep in mind that you can just come to this practice, do just this for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that, right? And it'll have this global effect, positive effect. Now take your hands, palms face down on your thighs. Slide your hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Gently arch the back. And then do the opposite of that. Slide the hands forward past the knees, hollow your chest area, drop your head and round your back. And then again, slide hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, arching. Now add to this, inhale. And then exhale as you slide hands forward, hollow the chest, round the back. Let's do 3 more. And then settle to the middle. And let's do rotation. Slide your left hand forward past your knee, right hand back. Turn shoulders and head to the right. And then turn head and shoulders to the left. Let's do that 3 more times each way, just getting your rotating parts moving. Exhale as you turn. Inhale as you come to the middle. Exhale as you turn. Hey, Mike, notice you did something kind of funny. You did your body like this, but then you turned your head that way, right? We're turning this way. So the hand that goes back, so one hand goes forward, yeah, and turn your head the direction of the hand that goes back, that way, right? So you're twisting that way, and then you twist the other way. You're getting the whole body to turn. There you go. All right, and then back to middle, and then last one of these this little set is sideways lean. So what we're trying to do here is just get away from this held, gripped state. So we're a little side lean left and side lean right, just trying to loosen up whatever grip you've got. Again, in that effort of, or in that goal of chun one, which is that softening out anywhere that you're holding. So this movement just allows that process. All right, and then back to middle. Now scoot back on your chair a little bit. So you're nice and stable there, and then load your right knee up, draw the right heel to your butt, push away, load again, and then set that foot down. We're gonna switch legs each time. Load, push, load, down. Load, push, load, down. Load, push, load. Now, extend the right leg, point the right foot, flex the right foot. Point, flex, point, flex. Then tilt that right foot a little in, out, in, out, in, out. And then circle, in, around, and out. A couple of times. And then reverse, out, around, and in. And down. Switching legs, extend your left leg. Point foot, flex foot. Point, flex. Point, flex. Point, flex. Now, a little tilt in, tilt out. In, out. In, out, and then circle. In, around, and out. Couple times, and then out, around, and in. Couple times. And then down. Now, one more time, scoot to the front edge of your chair. Then step your feet a bit wider apart than your hip distance. Now, just picture for a moment your thigh bones and where they plug into your ball and socket joint of the hips. So now lift your toes and turn from those hip joints. Your thigh bones internally rotate, knees come in, toes point in. And then we, from those hip joints, turn out. Lift the toes and turn out. So it's really up in here in this hip joint area, what they call the quad. The quad. And it's a very important space here that a lot of times we have sort of stuck, gripped, and held, and that makes us clumsier. It limits our ability to be agile. It limits our ability to change our body weight. So just a simple practice like this to get the hip area opening, closing, right? Now, feet back to hip distance from that same qua, fold forward. So now the legs aren't moving and the pelvis is, right? So now sit back up and then lean back just a little bit. We're going to do that a couple of times from the hips. Fold and then rise and then tip back just a bit and then back to vertical. Fold, sit upright, lean back, upright. Now, we're going to use all of that to stand up. So slide your feet back a little bit, let your arms hang loose, and we fold at the hips. Now, if you see my body here, notice my ankle, my arms, shoulder, and head need to get forward of the ankle. If I go forward then, and I'm here, now I'm out of the chair and then ready to stand. So standing becomes very easy once you realize that it's not just straight up, it's actually forward and then up. And then sitting down from that hip area, that qua, folding. Notice I didn't bend my knees first thing, right? So the key here is the hips fold, then it's the continuing folding of the hips and sinking that bends the knees. So I'm not pushing my knees forward, sink down, find the chair, and then sit back. Again, we are loose and relaxed through the shoulders. Fold and get shoulders, head, and arms in front of your ankles. And then just push through the earth, rise up, and let the body stand. And then again, fold. Keep folding and sink, find the chair. Now, as we go up one more time, remember this idea of Zhong or central upright, and then the Chun one, that softening as your means of finding stability. So when we stand up, it's going to get more dangerous, right? Because now we're not sitting in a chair. So the tendency to tighten up increases, right? So again, we fold, and notice right as you pour yourself out of your chair, you can be here and let that weight go down through your feet. And then as you stand up, keep the weight down through your feet. So stay loose. And as I said before, it will feel less stable at first when you stand up and relax. Because all of a sudden we go from this clenched body to a relaxed body, and there's some room to move inside of this body, right? So at first it feels less stable. And that's why we have these chairs, we have things to practice. But the idea with Tai Chi practice, if you've ever seen people practice beautiful Tai Chi, they're agile, they can move, their feet change, there's this freedom and floating movement quality, and yet they're very grounded and stable, right? So the only way to achieve that is with this idea of soft, relaxed, and loose. And we have layers of that going on. And so that's why the Monday class, Friday class combination, on Friday we do more of the arms and the upper body Tai Chi, but here we're really just going to focus on the lower half, okay? So you got your chair next to you. Hand could grab it if you need to. Now, if you look at my body on the screen, if I asked you which of these two legs has my body weight in it, you'd be able to tell me, right? You can just see it, but it's not because I picked this foot up off the ground. So the foot can be on the ground and the change of full and empty can occur. And so that's the first Tai Chi exercise here, is don't pick any foot up off the ground. Don't even lift the heel. Just try to find this place. And again, it's the belly button sort of region that is our middle. So just get this quality of change the weight over to the left leg and then change the weight over to the right leg. And move from here, as opposed to what happens when this is frozen and we're too afraid. We lean from up top. We do all this other stuff rather than relax and move from the middle. So again, this feels a little scary until you get comfortable with, oh, it's just a little bit of shift over here, and then let that leg, that's the other important piece, is that our legs should be like springs, not like stilts. So when we lock everything up, we're making our leg into a stilt. Instead of shift over onto that leg and then let the leg have a little bend ability. And then shift and a little bend ability. So this is your basic, how do you keep your ability to walk? How do you keep your balance? How do you stay safe when you're going upstairs, downstairs, turning to your left, to your right, going forward, going backwards? Everything you do, this fundamental setup has to happen, right? So they call this separating empty and full. Now, the next time you shift into your left leg, stay in your left leg, and your right foot should be empty. You can put your hand on the chair or not. As you lift, you see what I did there, right? So I lift the heel of my empty foot and get right up onto the tip of the shoe. But notice the weight is going down through this leg. That's what makes this foot free. And then put that foot down, shift your weight into that leg. So let that leg be doing the support work, and heel lift of the empty foot. And put the heel down of the empty foot without any weight, and then shift. So now let's turn this into an exercise. The weight goes into your left, lift your right heel, lower your right heel, shift into the right leg. Left leg being empty, you can lift heel, lower heel, shift. Right leg now empty, lift, lower, shift. Lift, lower, shift. Now, premature lifting of the foot happens all the time. This feeling of rushing, going too fast. So Tai Chi has this slowness, this emphasis on being slow. Why? Why practice slow? Many reasons, but for our purposes here, it takes time for you to really find full empty. Then you lift and lower, shift, and give yourself time to really commit and find that stability and connection. Then lift and lower. And then shift. Now let's go to the next level, level 3 of this exercise. This time you should put your hand on the chair, go to the tippy toe of your empty foot, and disconnect the foot from the floor. Then place the whole foot down on the floor without any weight in it. Then shift. Now, once you got full and empty separated, then go tippy toe, disconnect, whole foot reconnect, shift. Once the leg is empty, then go tippy toe, lift, lower, shift. Wait for that stability to come from relaxing down through this leg. Then this leg has the potential to be free. Shift, tippy toe, lift, down, shift. Wait for it, tippy toe, lift, down. And then finally, the 4th level of this practice, we put hand on chair, tippy toe, and lift all the way up. So notice, I'll turn sideways so you can see, there's no higher this leg can go. This is the maximum. So we want to use the chair to get the maximum lift of this leg. and then set the whole foot down, shift into that leg, and let's do the other one. Tippy toe, and then lift all the way. So get to that maximum lift so we can blaze the range of motion trail. And then that whole leg down, and then shift into that right leg. Left leg empty, lift all the way. Get to that full range, and then down. From the middle, shift, tippy toe, lift, all the way down. One more. And someday you'll be able to do this no hands or just light touch. Down. Okay, now chair should be to your right. Take a step back from it a little, but keep able to reach it. Put your weight in your left leg and put your right foot in front with the heel touching, right? So here's the side view. I'm going to turn a little bit like this so you guys can see some angles, but you just keep doing it straight ahead, okay? So you can see I didn't take some massive step. It's just right in front. Heel is touching. This leg is empty. Now, shift into that right leg and get on the tippy toe of your left foot. And then shift back. Now there's this saying in Tai Chi, the primary direction is down. So when I move into this leg that's in front, I go down through it. And when I go into this leg that's behind, I go down. I'm not going backwards or forwards, I'm going down. Again, shift. And when you get this feeling of down, not forward, down, not back, that gives you this, again, the stability that I'm talking about that we're all looking for, but it doesn't come from tightening up. It comes from relaxing and then finding how, oh, I just let that weight go down to the earth. Down to the earth. So then this Tai Chi body, this relaxed and loose body, allows that through to the ground. Through to the ground. So then we have stability, and then we also have this mobility. So hand on chair, with your right leg in front, empty, lift. And notice I'm lifting from this hip crease, just a light little lift. Put the heel down in front and shift. And then this back leg, now this one being empty, you just do this little bend to the knee, little flamingo lift. And then put the toe back where it was touching the ground. Shift. As the weight goes down through your back leg, your front leg can lift. And then as you change the context, front leg full, back leg empty, and can lift. Shift. We got a mountain and a cloud. And then the Tai Chi alchemy changed that. So what was once a cloud becomes the mountain, and what was the mountain is now a cloud. They have a saying in Tai Chi that being double weighted. Double weighted means essentially both your legs are mountains and you're yanking them around and trying to step, and there's a clumsiness when we move like that versus the skillful quality of mountain cloud. And then change that cloud. And then change. Now we go level 3, hand on chair, all the way up. Down with the heel touching softly. And then change. So now your right leg is the mountain. This leg being the cloud, go heel to butt and knee up. And then reach this toe behind. Find the floor and shift. So as the weight goes down, this leg rises. Down. Shift. This leg can safely rise. So what we're really cultivating is the middle. So there is an aspect, once we let the weight go through and we're relaxed, there's this pivot point around which these movements are organized. So even though the legs are changing full to empty, empty to full, there is a place of constancy, the middle. And that gives us organization and balance as well. Now, step your right foot next to your left foot, sidestep, and get closer to this chair. Make sure you're a little bit back from the chair so you have a bit of a runway in front. Put the weight in your right leg, mountain. Take your left foot out, have it be a cloud, just light and empty. And then we're gonna change, right? So then you shift into that left leg, make it a mountain, and then this back leg is a cloud. And then shift. Primary direction is down, not forward and backward, but down. And down. And down. Tai Chi and Qigong is like resting. That's this other beautiful saying. It's like resting. I like the word casual, leisurely. Right? We're just being in a state of leisure, just shifting and changing. Now let's go level 2. Hand on chair, lift that empty foot in front, put it down, shift. And now your back leg, do the little flamingo lift, toe touch. Shift. Then from the hip, lift, lower, shift. From the knee, bend, down, shift. Mountain, cloud, and then change. Mountain, cloud. Usually everybody has a strong leg and a weak leg, you know what I mean? You'll feel more comfortable on one, less comfortable on the other. Pretty much across the board, everyone's got that going on. But over time, we want to balance that out. We want to bring the weak one up. We want to balance it with the stronger one. Now, hand on chair. Let's go level 3. Full range lift. Down. Shift. Full range lift. Reach the toe behind, shift. And notice that I'm at an angle. So Alex, it looked like you were trying to turn your leg out to the side. Notice if I do this straight ahead, like I want you guys to do it, my leg is moving just in this plane of movement. Up, down, shift, forward and up, back. So this is the sagittal plane of movement that we're moving our limbs in. I'm turning sideways so that you can see some of the different angles of the body.
Does the weight-bearing legs have a little bend in it, or do you have it pretty?
Yes, weight-bearing leg definitely has a little give, right? And a way to say that answers it is you don't bend your knee, but you open it so that it can have a bend in it at times, right? Instead of when we think, oh, I gotta bend my knee, we tend to impinge it and sort of push into the joint. Instead, it's more like bendable. It can bend because it's open rather than locked and held or bent and pushed. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense.
Sort of.
Well, it's a way of thinking of it is instead of it being a position, it's a quality. So if you say, should my knee be bent? You're asking me, should my knee be in a bent position? And I'm saying it needs to have the quality of bendability. Right? Because if you bend it, you know, if I'm here or I'm here, I'm still locked. But if I'm here, I can bend or be straight and have this through quality, which is what we're looking for. Okay, now go back to your starting position on this other side. Step over. So we do exactly what we just did, except we take it a step further, no pun intended. Put the weight in your left leg, right foot in front, heel touching empty. So now, shift, back leg is empty, step it while remaining empty, and then shift. And then we go back. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can really see it. Shift, this leg is empty, I step it and it's still empty, then shift. Full, empty. So it's shift, step the empty foot, shift, shift back, step the empty foot, shift back. So we're getting 2 mountain cloud exchanges, right? Mountain and cloud, and then we're going mountain, cloud, step the cloud, and then turn it back into a mountain. And then switch, step, switch. And you can see sort of to that question that was just asked about what state is the knee, right? There is a bend in my knee, but I'll tell you, I'm not thinking bend knee. I'm just thinking relaxed limb. And this is the natural state that it goes into. It bends. Okay, so now definitely have your chair involved here as you lift, lower, shift, and then imagine you got to step up and over something, put that foot down, and then shift, and then that little flamingo. So now we're adding the challenge of disconnecting foot and executing a semi-complicated maneuver. Shift. This proves if I can lift this and stay connected down through here, then I've proven 100-0. And then here I gotta prove 100-0. Right? And that's again where the slowness of Tai Chi has value. Is if I go fast, I can skip over my weak places. But if I go slow, all the quivering and the nervous system training and the balance training, right? This, if I shaking, getting stronger, shift. If I just quickly go like that, how do I know? But when I go here, I can really tell where's my middle. Am I truly grounded? So we're training ourselves to be incredibly precise. Now, all the way down. Shift. Now this sort of exaggerated movement, heel to butt, knee up, foot forward, lower the leg, shift, and then bring that knee forward and up. Reach the toe back, shift. Chair is useful here. Using the chair for balance as you execute this complex movement. But underneath it all, it's just be grounded and relaxed. Chun Wan, softening down as my means of stability. Ching Lin, light, nimble, agile. Then Chun Wan down through that leg. So that this leg can Ching Lin. And up. Now we're going to switch sides. Side step. Here to this chair. Level 1 is the best one to practice no hand on the chair. Chair is there if you need it, but see if you can do this one with no hands, where you put the weight in your right leg, left foot in front with no weight, then shift. Once the right leg is empty, step it and keep it empty, and then shift. Then shift back, step back while the foot is still empty, and then shift. Shift, wait for it, step it while it's still empty, shift, wait for it. Remember, primary direction is still down. The down gives me the freedom to move this foot. And then down, that gives me the freedom to move this foot. Down, step, down. So for our purposes, the best news is that the only direction you have to get right is down. Now, how do you get down? Well, you have to relax down. So that's where it gets difficult because we're up, we're standing, we're afraid of falling, we're afraid, things are happening all around us. The body's tight, it's got injuries, Parkinson's is doing weird things to you, right? So there's a lot going on, but the answer to the question about, okay, how do I make sure that I'm going to be able to move safely? Down. Get the down right. Let's go to level 2. So you got your chair. Lift, lower, shift. So it's the down that gives me the ability to do this potentially dangerous thing of picking my foot up. And then shift. And then that little flamingo. Down. Shift. So especially this one. You got to stay down through your standing leg, even when you reach this back. Because a lot of times people reach back and they clumsily sort of fall backwards. So reaching back, no weight, then shift the weight down. This lifts, down, shift, the weight goes down. Step over that obstacle, down. Little flamingo. Shift. Weight goes down. That frees this foot to make a complex movement. And then now make sure you're using your chair here for full range lift. Lower. Shift. And now we go heel to butt. Knee all the way to full lift. Foot out. Down in front. Shift. Other leg in front. So we're doing this full sort of exaggerated movement to really challenge, can you keep your middle? Can you keep your Zhongjung, Chunwan, and Qingling? And when you get the feeling that you're using those principles of body upright, softening as your means of finding stability, relaxing down, and then using this Qingling quality of nimbleness to move, rather than grabbing the body and yanking it through movement, which is what most people are doing. Relax. There's a sort of sophistication to Tai Chi, and elegance to it. Alrighty. Now, move to the left side of your space so that you have this runway in front of you. And then we do level 1, 4, 5, 6 steps that way, 4, 5, 6 backwards steps. Chairs are on your left for safety. Empty your left foot, put it in front. Now shift, step, shift. So think step without shifting, shift without stepping, step without shifting, shift without stepping, step without shifting, shift without step. When we go backwards, same mantra. Shift without stepping, step the empty foot without shifting any weight into it, then shift. Once you've established a nice secure groundedness, then you can safely step, and then you shift and change. Okay, now I'm getting grounded through this other leg, and the other one can step, and then I gotta change so that I'm now grounded through this one. This one can step, and now I'm grounded through this one. Let's do that again. Eventually, we just walk, right? You just walk, right? Casual, leisurely, but you want to see first slowing down and going, can I and am I actually shifting without stepping, stepping without shifting? If you can't do this, then when you try to just be casual, it won't go as well. All right, now level 2 on that, where we step over, shift, right? Use the chair for safety, but here we're challenging. One of the names for this is the heron looks for the fish, right? If you've ever seen those long-legged birds in the marshes, the way they step and then they penetrate the water with that foot without making a splash, right? And the only way they could possibly do that is if that empty foot was truly empty, where they could just enter the water with the foot, then they change their weight onto that foot without making a ripple. They draw the other foot up, step it. All right. Now, once you're back to the starting position at the far left, don't rush, just take your time. Then turning face forward, put all the weight into your left leg, right foot empty, step out and back in. So we're going to do that again. Out, in, out, in. So I can already see with a few of you, some of you are remembering the instruction of do not let your body weight shift with that step. Others are getting pulled along, right? You see the difference in my body. When I step like this and this, my body weight is staying down through this leg and this foot is free, but it's stepping. Whereas if I go like that, there's a clumsiness to this movement and a danger to it, right? So step, out and in, no body weight change, best you can. And then put that right foot out there, leave it there, and we change the weight into the right leg, leave the left foot secure to the ground, and then change the weight back to the left leg, right foot stays secure to the ground. So from our middle pivot, we're changing mountain, cloud, mountain, cloud. And again. And then we're going to stay in this right leg, bring the left foot in and out. In and out. And then once again, notice the body grounded through this leg so that this leg is free. It's a clap. And then lastly, bring the left foot in, keep your feet close together, and let's change to the left leg, change to the right leg, change to the left leg, change to the right, left. So right, with the feet very close to each other, that adds this challenge. Now stay in the left leg, step your right foot out, shift to your right leg, left leg now empty, step it in. Change into your left leg, right foot, once it's empty, it can step out. Then shift. So remember that mantra, shift without stepping, step without putting the weight into this leg or without shifting, and then shift. So now the weight's here, step, shift. Left leg's empty, step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, step. Now we're going to switch directions. In, out. Now again, the primary direction is down. It's not sideways. It's just down to the earth and down to the earth. The body moves appropriate amount of lateral when we just focus on down, down, right? So if you looked, you'd see my body is moving a little this way and a little this way. It's moving laterally in space, but I'm not forcing it. I'm not moving it, grabbing it, doing that. I'm just going, okay, down, 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 right? Now, I like to use this movement, this footstep, to teach the first advanced Tai Chi movement. So let's do just the hand part now. So once again, shifting and shifting, but now add to it this turn. So we shift into the right, turn, brush, and sweep. So if you came to the Friday class, you know this one as the bear washing its paws in the stream. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. And don't worry so much about the hands, but just get this idea that they're brushing across this way, and then you're shifting down through this leg, turning, and letting them go across. And then letting them go across, right? And there's all kinds of different variations to this, but for our purposes, just have it be this very simple, change the weight, turn, brush, and sweep. Change the weight, turn, brush, and sweep. So keep that in mind. Now let's all go into the left leg, and the hands are to your left. Right foot steps out. Now, go down through your right leg, turn, brush, and sweep. Left foot's empty, step it in. Left foot should still be empty, and then the weight goes down through the left leg, turn, brush, and sweep. So now the right foot should be empty, and we step out. And then it's shift, turn, brush, sweep. Left foot is empty, bring it in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. So we're traveling, step out. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. Step in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. So you should end up all the way across the room because you're stepping right foot out and left foot in. And then right foot out and left foot in. Then we switch directions. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. Step in. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. Out. So this starts to give us the feeling of Tai Chi, which is this weight changing, this turning, this execution of freedom of movement without it becoming so sloppy that we lose our balance, lose our coordination. Shift, turn, brush, sweep. And let's go back one more time. This time, that sweeping hand, the outside hand, comes up and across. So this is the bear swats the jumping fish. Bring the foot in. So this bottom hand does brush knee. This hand swats the jumping fish. And then they switch, one high, one low, step. So it's shifting, turning, brush knee, swat the jumping fish. Then your left foot being empty, step in. Then that left hand goes down, right hand is up, shift and turn, swat. Hands change as you step, shift, turn, brush, swat. Step in, hands change. All right, so this is just our first experience of full Tai Chi, a full movement. It's a simpler movement, but it is in the category of advanced Tai Chi. Just because we're doing all the components, we're having to coordinate, one being high, one being low, one is full, one is empty. We're having to coordinate the turn and change. Then there's this change that happens where you step in, and then there's a shift and a turn and a low and a high. And then there's a change as the step happens and shift and turn. And we're traveling across the room. So you should be moving across the room. So if you're just standing in place, repeating the movement, notice that you're not walking. There should be a walking component. Stepping out, stepping in. Shift and turn. The empty foot is the one that can step out. Shift and turn. The empty foot is the one that steps in. Shift and turn. Stepping out. Stepping in. And back to middle. And then there's one more that we worked on in our Friday class I want to add to this class here. So a quintessential Tai Chi stance is what's called 70-30. So we've just done 100-0, 100-0, that kind of a thing. But this 70-30 stance is a athletic stance. It's a stance that you can sort of engage with things. You can, it's their martial arts stance, one of their main ones. So put your weight in your left leg. Turn your right foot out 5 degrees. Shift your weight into the right leg 100%. And then your left foot, step it forward. Right? So left foot steps forward. Try to get a little bit of width with this leg. So it's not a cross like that. Try to have it a little bit out so there's some room here with the toes pointing straight ahead. Now shift 70% into this leg and then shift back. 100-0. Shift 70-30. And then 100-0. Now, how do I know if it's 70-30? Think of it sort of simply. There's just more here, less here, but there's still some weight here. So it's not 50-50, it's 70-30. And then shift back, and this is very clearly 100-0. And then 70-30. 100-0. Let's do that again. 70-30. 100-0. Now, the 100 foot is free, bring it back. Toes turned out. Shift your weight onto that left leg now. Right foot steps forward, toes point straight ahead. Shift 70%. And then back 100-0. 70-30. 100-0. Primary direction is still down and down. And the body's just along for the ride, loose and relaxed. 70-30. 100-0. And a key to this is keep the feet on the ground. So don't let this heel come up. Keep that foot down. So this conditions our hips, groin, and quad and back differently than the other exercise we're doing. This requires a little more openness when we keep the feet anchored on the ground. 70-30. Back to 100-0. Bring this right foot back. Change the weight. Step the left foot forward. Now bring your hands up in front, right in front of the chest, and turn your palms to face forward. Okay? So now shift into your front leg 70 and push. Fully extend. Turn your hands around. And then draw back as you shift 100-0. So this has, again, many reasons why you practice this simple movement. But one of the things this offers us over time is how to feel the body as one unified liquid whole. So that it's not move and then stiffly, separately push and then pull back and then shift back, right? It's this looseness that allows this. So it's kind of like water. It's this, almost like the ocean waves. And how they move. There's this sturdiness to the ocean and yet all this flow, this mobility. So see if you can get that quality. And again, Alexander, remember when I turn my body this way and I go like this, what I'm not doing is this. I'm not doing that. And it seems like that's what you see. So make sure you understand the difference of, you know, you're going forward and backward. If I turn my body, this is forward and backward. So if I ever want you to turn your body, I'll tell you. Usually I'm just turning so that I can create a different angle so you can see what's happening down here, and you can see, because sometimes this, it's kind of hard to gauge what's happening, right? So then let's switch the feet, bring that left foot back, change, put the right foot in front, and shift and extend, right? So I'm turning my body so that you can see the extension, and then turn and bring back. So Alex, please, Alexander, push your hands forward, not to the side. Yes, forward, straight ahead. There you go. Not over here, here, right? So if I turn sideways, I'm still pushing straight ahead of my body and coming straight back to my body, right? Straight ahead, straight back. So now you're shifting 70% into this leg, and then 100% into the back leg as you draw back. And then 70-30 and push. And then 100-0, draw back. 2 more. Shift. 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 And shift. And all the way back. Bring your right foot back. Hands come down. Palms together. Rub your palms. Rub the back of one hand. Rub palms. Rub back of other hand. Palms. And then we finish the practice by emphasizing a couple places. So we go quad. Palms on this hip crease area, or the inguinal crease, the groin crease. And then we do the hip flexors, right? Right in front here, hip flexors. And notice that I'm not doing very small, it's big movements. Round, round. Because what we want to emphasize in the body is through, flowing, not stuck. So our massage, we're emphasizing flow, space. And then tailbone area. We're emphasizing again, this place tends to get bottled up and stuck. We're saying no, clear through, space. And then up onto the lumbar, clear. And then like you're sitting for a squat, stick the butt back, sink, sweep the hands down, around, and come up to the navel. And then we finish up the outer arm to the shoulder, turn, down, and off. So see if you can get this flowing where it goes up and over, turn, and then hua. Same arm, up and over the shoulder, turn, hua. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. It's like a chi reset. And then we do the other arm. Up the outer to the shoulder, turn, sweep. Yang channels, yin channels. Yang, yin. Yang, yin. And done. Final movement here. Wing, roll, fold over top, settle. We got the middle here, the belly button. Turn the palms to face in. This is called middle embrace. And then seal. One hand over the belly, other hand over top of that hand. So this little two-hand stack seal. And what happens over time with the practice is this emphasis on consolidating, settling, organizing to the middle just helps bring everything to a connection point, a sort of a communication hub for the upper body, the lower body, front body, back body, left, right, diagonal, right? Everything has to go through a middle. And so in the Taoist practice, the navel represents the front of it. The lumbar section of the spine represents the back of it. And right between these two places, inside here, that's this middle reservoir. So this constant returning to saying, don't forget here, don't forget here. This balances us from what usually happens. We get stuck up here in our thinking. We get stuck up here with our emotional stress and also the sort of tension we hold. And so this releasing of the mind to here, of the emotional turbulence to here, and it's a physical center as well for the body. So keep that in mind. All righty, thank you so much, everybody. Well done. And if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself because everyone's muted, so I can't hear you.